down a little bit. It's true though, I mean, that contagious enthusiasm, it is amazing what's happening. And as Dave and I were driving here, it's exactly what Dave said. I said, you know, we have a 20-year anniversary coming up and we can't even find 2 days to get away somewhere because we have a 19-year-old that's a freshman in college, we have an 18-year-old that's going to graduate 5 weeks from this week, and a 16-year-old that is just busier than heck. One's in track, one's in baseball, one's in dance, one's teaching dance. And how many of you guys are busy? How many of you had somewhere else you could be tonight? And you know, it's just like, yeah, yes. How many of you had people that had somewhere else they are tonight? And you know, that's life, you guys. That's why we are doing this, to help people not be so busy and be able to experience the lifestyle that we have experienced. And when we were driving here, Dave said, just imagine if 20 years ago, that night that you were sitting there in that parking lot praying that something would come along, I would have turned left instead of right. And I was thinking, you know, I mean, how many of you guys can remember a time in your life where a simple decision, you had no idea it was going to absolutely change the rest of your life? And tonight, that's what I want to share with you guys. It's a story. I'm not going to sell you on anything. You're going to leave here and you're either going to be so excited you can't sleep tonight, or this is not for you. There's no in between. I mean, it is so big and it's growing so fast that there's just no in between. People are either so excited about this they can't sleep, or they go, I might use some products. And I loved Brianna's post today. It said, no one has ever, how did it say that? I don't really care about making a ton of money.
Said no one ever.
Said no one ever. That's what her Facebook post said. And I was like, I love that, and I'm sharing that. Because how many of you have ever said, I don't really care about making any money? No? One. Marianne, she doesn't care about making any money.
Well, I said that once.
Once.
Never said it.
So, the reason that we're here tonight is two things. Life-changing opportunity with a product line that we could stay here for 8 hours and talk about all the changed lives in the room. And my story really doesn't have anything to do with product, because I was 23 when it all starts. And when you're 23, you don't have a lot of health concerns, right? I had more energy than you could bottle up. I still do, but I think now it's the products. I had bigger dreams than you could even imagine, and I had all the dreams in the world and all the energy, but I didn't have enough money to do any of it. And so, you know, this is a meeting where I'm going to share with you my story and a quick opportunity. Tonight after you leave, there are videos that show this. This one's being recorded. The company has a website. They have a YouTube. They have Ustream. I mean, there's so many ways. None of you ever have to do what I'm doing tonight. I'm just here tonight because there's so many people I've never met that I want to share a little bit of my story and then what's happening. Is that okay with you guys? Okay, so when you leave here tonight, you're going to have the tools to go do what I have done. You never have to do what I'm going to do. And I don't want you to think this has to be duplicated, because I don't think it probably can be. But I want you to know that my story is something that I've written a book about. I've shared it to tens of thousands of people and given them hope, where they took it and said, I'm going to go do what she did. But you have to have the right vehicle. And so in 1996, Dave and I had been married about 2 years. Brooklyn was a year old when Chance was born. And then we had another one about 24 months later. That's why we have a 19, an 18, and an almost 17. Or 16. She's going to actually have a birthday on April the 15th. So this is coming right up. And can you imagine how busy our lives were? Well, Dave was riding bulls professionally. He was very quiet, introverted, shy type of a guy. You know how opposites attract? Dave was really shy, I was really loud. I mean, you know, that's just kind of how things work well together. I think that's why we've been together 20 years. You know, how many of you have somebody that's absolutely opposite of you at home or here? I mean, that just makes a great relationship, right? So I had been in every home-based business under the sun. And I didn't figure Dave would ever get in one, because he was really quiet, he didn't talk to people, and I knew he wouldn't be good in sales. He just was best if he was on a bull, hunting in the woods, or in the back room building furniture, because that's what he did. We had a gift store, we had a coffee bar, we had 2 tanning beds, eventually 3. We had about 60 students coming to the dance school, and I was cutting hair, and he was refinishing furniture, all in one big building. It was on the corner of Main Street in Russell, Kansas, Bob Dole's hometown. Do you guys remember in 1996 Bob Dole ran for president? So we were like, cha-ching! We've got the gift store on the corner. He's going to be the president. No one even knows where Russell is. We're putting up billboards on the highway. You know, we're investing like it was just about to be harvest time, right? And then, I don't know if you guys know the rest of the story, but people today ask me, is he the guy on the Viagra commercial? Like, no, actually he did run for president, he just didn't make it. Well, Dave and I, we invested in the souvenirs, the t-shirts, the sweatshirts, the flags, the blankets, we had it all, and we still do. And I can bring some next time. But long story short, we were in a bankruptcy situation, and we went from rolling in the dough and just having so much success at the age of 23 and 24 to, oh my goodness, how are we going to pay all this off? And I was cutting hair and making $300 or $400 a day. I loved it. And if you love what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life, as long as you can afford to do it. But with 3 babies and all of this debt from 5 businesses, it's not like we were afraid to take a risk. But how many of you have ever owned your own business? How much did it cost you guys to get started?
$250,000.
$250,000. What'd you do?
Restaurants.
Restaurants. What kind of restaurants?
Taco John's.
Taco John's. Anybody else?
$50.
Restaurants. How much?
I can't even, I don't know, I mean, a ton.
A ton. And what did you say?
$50 for a landscaping business.
$50 for a landscaping business, you know? And it just depends. People start businesses every day for all different amounts, but you guys, most people are in debt, and then they have a business, and then they're working 40 to 60 to 80 hours a week, sometimes both spouses in the family, and that was Dave and I. And you know, I'll tell you what, when we got married in '93, we were going to rope the world, God first, then our family, then our career. We're never going to screw up like our parents did. You know, we were so smart. Both of us came from broken homes, and we had no idea that the reason for all that was not enough time, too much stress, not enough money. My parents were so busy making a living, there was no time to make a life. And I came from a family of workaholics and entrepreneurs. Dave came from a family where his dad was an engineer and his mom stayed home with the kids. And so you come from 2 different backgrounds, and then when you see an opportunity like this, guess what I said? Too good to be true, Dave. You're nuts. It's never going to work. Hard work is the only way. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And I opened up the closet when he got home and said, do you see all these boxes? I've done Arbonne, I've done Mary Kay, I did Party Light Candles, I did Avon, I did Amway twice because I thought when I quit, if I signed up under someone different, it would make a difference. And sponsored a lot of people in that company, and I'll show you the difference, you guys. But the bottom line is, I didn't believe in this industry. And I was so mad that he took money that we didn't have and got involved in a business that was home-based and we were never even home, that I just couldn't even believe that he would take a risk like that. And that was February the 23rd of 1996. And the story that I want to tell you tonight, that company has nothing to do with the opportunity I'm sharing with you, but I'll tell you what, there are a lot of similarities. And if I told you guys that you could experience what I experienced, only a better opportunity, I think that you would probably have a hard time sleeping tonight, because I was 23, Dave was 24. In 90 days, we replaced our income. How many of you would like to do that? Within the year, our checks hit $7,000. In the next year, they were 10 to 12. The following year, they were 17. And by the 4th year in that business, our checks were over $40,000 a month. That year, Dave lost his little brother to a horrible tragedy, and we didn't work for a year. We made $480,000. We didn't know much in taxes. In fact, I think we got a refund that year because there were so many perks of having a home-based business. And we're seeing these checks coming in month after month after month. And in the beginning, I'll be honest with you, my dream was make a lot of money. I needed to make $30,000 or $40,000 a month. And after that happened in 2001, I'll tell you what, my whole philosophy changed. You could have had the cars, the boat, the fur coats, all the trips. All I could think about was time with people that I loved and how I could make a difference. And tonight, that's really what I want to talk to you about, is making a difference. Because for 10 years, Dave and I tried to recreate 1996. How many of you guys have had a time in your life where I was at the top of my game? Oh, if I could just do that again. Anybody ever think that? Yeah, Kurt and Dave and I would get together, we'd be like, oh, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this incentive. Oh, you remember that Founders Cruise? We're going to do that. And we were constantly trying to recreate 1996 through 2001. So badly, we made so much money and put it all back that in 2006, we called Kurt Viennekamp, him, his brother, his wife, they drove, we said, we're going to start our own company. We're going to do this come heck or high water because we know what to do, and we're going to create the same thing. And we did. And it exploded. We did millions of dollars in sales. We broke tons of records in the DSA. But all of a sudden, instead of being home-based with my kids, experiencing the life of my dreams, we had employees. We worked 80 hours a week. Actually, we worked around the clock. We were shipping products. We were growing. We were doing, we had over 10,000 distributors, and we had about 60 or 70 products. This doctor out of Scottsdale, Arizona, that was changing people's lives, and we had this huge responsibility because now we had all these people's lives in our hands. And guess what our dream was? Create a better opportunity than we had in 1996. So on our wall, we had global expansion. On this wall, we had 500 products. On this wall, we had millionaire circle. On this wall back there, we had incentive trips and websites. And we had all these goals and dreams. And guess what all that would take? Time and money. Because after 7 years of our company growing and growing and growing, we were still shooting for those targets. And we knew we were going to hit them. But we just hadn't hit them yet. So that was 2009. I published my book. The book went to the top of the charts. I would be walking down the airport on my author page on Facebook. I still have the picture. There was Sarah Palin, Barack Obama, and Barb Pitcock.
Yes.
Now you would think that that would be a big deal. I called home to Dave and I said, I am so sick of walking through these. Do you know there's 125 bookstores in the Dallas airport? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. How many bookstores do you pass between gate 1 and 59? Count them. I was signing books, I was traveling, I was doing autographs and pictures, and finally I thought, this is not my dream. I wrote the book to change people's lives and to give them hope, not to be out signing books. You know what I wanted? I wanted to be home with my kids. I wanted to be at the football game. I wanted to be back in my garden. I wanted to be at the lake with Dave walleye fishing. But I had all these responsibilities and all this success. And I got invited to come and speak here in Denver. I'll never forget it. It was November the 1st. It's almost been 18 months, I guess. Yep. And I said, nope, I'm not going to come. It's Chance's birthday. We're going the next weekend to Keystone. And they said, please come. You were there. You were there. Kurt was there. Scott was there. Just a few people. And when I got there, the speaker said, do not talk about network marketing. Don't tell about any of your success in that industry. Only tell your story. And I thought, this is going to be a tough one. What am I going to talk about age 5 till 18? Because everything after that was this story. So I told my story, and Scott Fardulis was there, and I met him for the first time. And Kurt kept trying to get me to go to lunch with these guys, Scott Fardulis and Tom Chenault. And I actually said to Eric and Dave, I just need to get away from these guys because I don't know what their agenda is, but I'm not interested. And so we ended up at lunch, and they were the most amazing people I had ever met in my life. And the following weekend, we were at Keystone, and Tom Chenault invited me on his radio show. And from then on, it was just like a wart I couldn't get rid of because the only thing that I heard about was 90 for life, longevity, and if we would team up, 1 + 1 would equal 3 or 4 or something. Now, I'm not good at math, but I kept telling Dave, this Fardulis guy, I don't know what's the matter with him, but he just keeps telling me that 1 + 1 is going to equal 3 or 4. And Dave was like, that's because he's talking about combining our efforts. And so Scott was getting me on calls and trying to get me to meet the president, and they kept talking about this 90 for life and longevity, and 90 for life and longevity, and we're like, we are Lavinity. We are our own company, our own team, our own products, and I don't understand what your agenda is. And all of a sudden, we heard the story that you guys are going to hear tonight, and I'll tell you, if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you, because we were pretty much set. And even though we were working hard, I'll tell you what, I could do anything I wanted financially. And we brought our entire company, our product line, and our doctor together with this team because I'll tell you what you're going to see. You're just going to see deja vu of 1996. And that is why I'm here. That's why this is spring break, and we're not on a spring break trip with these 3 beautiful children of ours, and they don't even care because they're just watching the numbers and the charts and saying, how long are we staying in Mexico this summer with all those friends? Because, you guys, this company is exploding, and I want you to experience that. So in 1996, just to give you a little background, there was a company called Nutrition for Life International based out of Houston, Texas. Dave and I got involved in that company. They were about a $12 million company. They went to $100 million in sales, and it happened in about 12 or 18 months. Kurt Viennekamp happened to be in there before us that summer of 1995 when everybody was telling us, you got to see this, you got to see this, you got to see this. And I was saying to Dave, we ain't getting in, we ain't doing nothing. It's just like Amway, we ain't doing it, we don't have the money, we don't have the time, blah, 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 blah. And then Dave went in February and he enrolled. And between February and Memorial Day, we became free. Both of us, full-time stay-home parents. So tonight, what I'm going to show you is a lot more money than the comp plan we had 3 times as many products in the product line we had, and better positioning and timing. And if you leave here tonight and you're not excited, this is not for you, period. I mean, you should be checking your pulse, or you must be set with some other, oil or royalties, or Michael Jackson's your dad or something. Because when you see this, it's amazing what's about to happen. So the company, Longevity, is based in Chula Vista, California. And the first time that I went there, all I heard about was Dr. Wallach, Dr. Wallach, Dr. Wallach. I mean, I was like, okay, when are we going to talk about money and bonuses and cars? But this story is so big, you guys, there's no one else that has it. So how many of you have heard of Dr. Joel Wallach? So, wow, everybody. I knew of an old CD, or it was an audio cassette that we used in Nutrition for Life Days called Dead Doctors Don't Lie. That audio has sold more than Michael Jackson's Thriller. That's a bunch. I'm not very good at numbers. The other day I said however many million, and Dave said that's not right. And then I was talking about the company having 300% growth, and I said that it went from 80 to 300 million, and Dave said no, it went from 20 to 80. I just mess up everything. So all I'm going to tell you guys is I'm not good at numbers. If you want to know about all the numbers, get that on the way out from the smart people at the back of the room. I'm just good at the vision of where this is going. Dr. Wallach had Dead Doctors Don't Lie CD in 1996. We used it in our company. This is probably prior to Longevity being something that he put together. So how many of you ever saw his television show? Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I think that was before I was old enough to watch TV, I'm not sure, but everyone I talked to remembers it and watched it. And so on that television show, you guys know what he did. He did a lot of research and found a lot of cures for diseases, about 900 of them, I think, and I think I got that number right, for animals. And so then he became a doctor, an MD, thinking if this works in an animal or a lion or a tiger or an elephant, it should work in people, right? But do you guys think people listened to him after he was an MD? No, because there's too much money in prescription drugs. In fact, they wanted to kill him, shut him down, do whatever they could, because our country is one of the only countries in the world where it's legal to advertise prescription drugs. And the biggest investors in those pharmaceutical companies is our government. So you got to understand, you're never going to change the big pharma. You're never going to change it. You have to be the one that's responsible for your own health. And looking at Dr. Wallach's message, it's exactly what our passion was in Leviticus. And this is part of the reason why we're here tonight as well. We had a whole mission centered around, Dave lost his little brother to suicide. Prescription drugs and antidepressants, you guys, what's the biggest side effects to prescription drugs? Suicide and depression and wanting to hurt yourself or other people. So it's not working, is it? Our country is like 51st as far as being the healthiest. 41st in infant mortality. So if I'm going to have a baby, I'm better off to go to 40 other countries before here. I didn't know that until I met Dr. Wallach. I always thought, we're America, we're the best, right? Because we all have pride, but I think a lot of us are just uneducated about everything that's going on. When I first met Dr. Wallach, I had been in a car accident, and I keep the prescriptions in my purse, and I still have the date that the neurologist said, if you don't go on these, you're going to be crazy and your brain's never going to be right. And she said, you're depressed and you need to be on, and she gave me all these Lexapro and Prozac and blah, 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 and I said, actually, it's not that I'm deficient in that, and I don't ever want to be on it. And I tried to tell her my story, and we got in the biggest argument, and I ended up leaving, and my attorney said, you're so stupid, if you would just take them, you could win like a $300,000 lawsuit. Because I have horrible injury in my neck and my lower back that hurt so bad that they say the only way to get it fixed is surgery. But tonight I'm fine, and we just drove 6 hours, and I just took the pain relief gel, the pain relief capsules, and that OsteoFX that comes in your kit when you get started. Oh, without it, I'm like, what did I lift? And then I'm like, oh no, I just forgot to take that. I mean, you just feel good right away. So I'm not going to get off on a rant about prescription drugs. Oh, if you ever come to one of Dave's meetings, just hold your seatbelt on when it comes to prescription drugs, because he is angry about it. And you would be too if you experience something like that. And our mission was to make a difference in people's lives and make them aware. When we met Dr. Wallach, we were like, this is the perfect home for us. Because there's nobody that's more angry about it than Dave, other than Dr. Wallach. And so our mission and his mission, it was just the perfect marriage. And the 90 for Life message that I want to share with you guys tonight, and the Healthy Start Pack that you would get if you got started tonight, is those 90 essential nutrients that Dr. Wallach found that if you have them in your body, there's no way disease can grow. And I'm not making a claim or saying that it cures anything. But you can go research on YouTube all the stories about the products. You can get on Facebook and read all the stories about the products. Maybe you don't have a health concern. Maybe you're just a little heavy. I looked at my pictures in January when they had the sweetheart dance in our house, and I'm going to have them posted tomorrow. I have someone putting like the before and afters together, and Dave was telling me, like, oh honey, you were never fat. I said, is this a good before fat picture? This was January. Oh, you were never fat, honey. You always look. I'm like, Dave, look at this. I mean, you can see the difference in fat and skinny, can't you? How many of you hate your pictures? Like, I was like, do not post that one, do not post that one. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, how am I going to get this off? And how did it get on there anyway? So we went to San Diego in January to see everybody at the corporate office. It's based in Chula Vista, California. We got there and we were in with Victoria and Iggy, and oh boy, did we have fun in that Suburban ride. I'm not going to share with you the stories, and Tom Chenault's not here, but wow, no filter. We were having the best time, and we were driving, and I kept hearing everybody talk about these products and this ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. Well, we had great products in Lavinity, and my mother-in-law lost 60 pounds in 5 months on our Live and Slim. So I was driving and I was like, we have a good weight loss, we have a good weight loss. And I was just in one ear, out the other. And I was supporting Scott and Kurt and everybody that loved it, but I thought, drops under your tongue? Seriously? Drops under your tongue and you're gonna lose 100 pounds? I heard Victoria's lady say that here at the Super Saturday, and I was like, how much are they paying her to say that? I mean, who loses 100 pounds, right? So we got to San Diego, and I hadn't had my suit on since the holidays, and I put my suit on that night to go, and I got up there to introduce the speaker, and on the stage, how many of you guys were there when my buttons flew off? My buttons. Like, I was excited and I was introducing Steve Schultz, and when I went like this, I lost like 3. And when I bent down like this, I lost like 1 more, and I was thinking, I need to get off this stage because I didn't know if it was my zipper, the seam. In fact, the seam of these pants, the threads still show in them. I'll show you after. I'm not going to turn around now, but because everything was so tight. And I was just a little angry about it. And so when we left, I wasn't going to tell anybody. I had already told Billy Andrioli I thought he was crazy for promoting those drops, and I just couldn't imagine that they would work. So I sent him a picture of me putting it under my tongue, and he still texts me almost every week and goes, how are those horse drops working? Because that's our little joke. I lost 18 pounds in 3 weeks. 18 pounds in 3 weeks, you guys. So, you know, if you don't get excited about the money, if your pants are tight, you should at least get the drops. Because I've never seen anything like it. And I couldn't really follow what it said to eat, because I live in my car right now because our business is just erupting, and I can't take kale and cantaloupe and grapefruit and stuff around in my car with me. But I just watched myself and used the drops, and so think if I would have followed that perfectly. Geez, I'd probably be 30 pounds lighter. So I am excited about the products, I'm excited about the company, and I really want to share with you what happened for us financially, because how many of you would love to make $10,000 a month? How many of you are sitting there going, I don't want to get my hopes up, that just sounds way too good to be true? Honesty? Yeah. How many of you have a rich relative that someday, if they passed away and left you $2,000 a month coming in residual, that you would be excited? Or how many of you dream of winning the lottery?
Oh, yeah.
So, the odds of you winning the lottery every day, she says, that's like you getting hit by lightning tonight when you leave, and it's March, right? It's just probably not going to happen. But whenever I say, let's imagine that a rich relative died, some people go, I'll get struck by lightning before that's going to happen. Especially me. Most of mine are in prison. Seriously, that's not a joke. So, only on my dad's side, right? So, we have a really dysfunctional family. Dave and I have no education. Dave quit school to ride bulls, and I went to beauty school because my dad disappeared my senior year. So I didn't have the opportunity that my kids have to go to college and do something that they love. I didn't have the opportunity to go do what I dreamed of for 18 years. I had 2 jobs and 4 little brothers and sisters to take care of. That's how I ended up at the age of 18. And you guys, when I first saw this opportunity, someone said, put your dreams on the board, and I couldn't dream. How many of you have ever been so low where you're like, I don't want to get my hopes up? Because it hurts too bad then when it doesn't happen. Yeah. So the first thing I told Dave, do not dare put them dreams on our refrigerator. My family will laugh you out of the house. I mean, when he came home and said he was in it, I was like, good luck. Don't tell any friends, don't tell any neighbors, don't you dare talk to anyone in the salon. No dance moms. I'm not going to lose dancers over you being in a home-based business. And I gave him this whole list, and Dave was like, great. I guess I'll call my mom. So he called his mom and he called the girl that worked at our salon, and that's kind of all he had to get started with. But there was only one thing that Dave remembered from that first meeting that we were at. The guy wrote on the board, dreams. And this is what I want to spend the most time on tonight. You can leave here tonight, you can go watch the Healthy Body Challenge. You can watch that video and you can find out how if just 3 people got on the products, you never pay for your products. And you can leave here tonight and you can go watch all the YouTube videos and you can see how the coding bonus works, how all the bonuses work. But no matter how educated I get you, if you don't get this, everyone's going to leave here tonight and do nothing. So the most important thing, even if you don't join our team this evening or ever, you should get this. Because the true tragedy in life is not, what it really is, you guys, it's all these people that are walking around. It's not death. That's not the true tragedy. It's all these people that you're surrounded by that are walking around like a corpse, and they have no dreams and goals. No, they're just like a bunch of robots. They just wake up, they go to work, they go home, they cook, they clean, they sleep, they wake up, they go to work. They never jump out of bed with passion about life. It's just, how am I going to get through till the end of the month? How am I going to survive? How am I going to rob from Peter to pay Paul and not go to jail if this check bounces? I mean, that's what majority of people in America, how am I ever going to pay off these credit cards? And to do this just seems a little phony, doesn't it? So just to pretend, since none of us have rich relatives, let's say your neighbor, you're really nice to your neighbor, and you have no idea that they have a lot of money, and when they pass away, they leave it all to you, but you're only going to get it like $5,000 a month because you were so good to them. Can we pretend? Okay, so $5,000 a month, it's coming in, and it's coming in month after month after month, but you have to do something with it in order to get it the next month. And this is in addition to what you're already making. So just shout out to me, what would you do if you had $5,000 a month residual?
New house.
New house. Who else?
Real big fishing boat.
A real big fishing boat. That's really what I want to get Dave for our anniversary on April 10th. But I'm not going to get it until the company hits $1 billion in sales, because otherwise he'll be fishing instead of doing meetings. So we'll get a real big fishing boat once this company hits the $1 billion mark. Real big fishing boat. Until then, he better just get a car that we're going to put a lot of miles on. What else would you guys do?
Travel.
Travel. Where would you go?
Japan.
Italy.
Ooh, Japan. Italy.
Quit laying brick.
Australia.
You guys dream so much bigger than the people in Kansas, and I know they're watching, but at our house it's like Denver. Where would you go? California. You guys are like Japan, Italy, Australia, Greece. Wow, I think people in Denver just make more money than where we come from. I mean, the average income in our area is like $9.50 to $10 an hour. You know, families live on $1,200 to $1,500 a month income.
Right.
So I think you guys are a little bigger dreamers, and this is fun. So what else would we do?
Quit work.
Invest. Quit work. Quit job. Invest. How about charities? Would anybody do a charity?
Yes.
New car.
New car. Guys, want to hear something exciting? Just in our town, we had 4 free cars this month. And I know that there's one under Scott and Julia, or Juliet here, the brand new Chaddicks, the brand new SEMDs. Kurt has a free car. How many of you in the room have free cars? Oh, a lot of free cars in this room. Yeah, and so there are a lot of free cars with leaders, and there's a lot of brand new leaders getting free cars. So a new car should just be one of the first things. You can do it in a month. We have an 18-year-old girl in our hometown and a 19-year-old boy that both qualified for free cars this month, and one of them joined on February 21st. Wow. Yeah, it's exciting. So it's a silver Mercedes bonus, but if you don't like a silver Mercedes, you can get a really big fishing boat. What else would you guys do? Anybody else?
And I was told when we first got in this business, you should always keep 3 months of cash in the back in case anything ever happened.
Uh-huh.
And that was one of the coolest things we ever were able to do. Just
Stash cash in the safe.
Stash cash, it just makes you feel so good.
Mm-hmm. Everybody should buy a safe, just so you get excited about putting stuff in it. Like, we had a little notebook paper, and I can remember every time we would put 3,000 in there, we would write it and then tally it up until it got to a whole bunch of money. And it was just a good feeling. Because how many of you look in your billfold like, crap, I don't have any cash? How many of you just love to know that you had like 20,000 in there just in case kids needed cash on the weekend? You could get 100 out of there and you wouldn't notice it. It's a really good feeling. How many of you would love to give that much away?
Yes.
You know, Dave and I, we used to go eat where we could sit by a window, and at Christmas time, we'd go to like Applebee's, and then when we would get done eating, we would just leave like $100 bill, and we'd go sit in the car and just watch the waitress. It is the funnest thing. She would be like, you know, they're like making sure it's real, or just drop it. I mean, one year we bought presents and put them in black plastic bags and took our kids with us. 51 families in our hometown. I didn't plan it that way. I thought the whole town was going to get behind me, and I did this big toy charity thing that I knew I was going to fund because we had about $10,000 a month in just one house bonus. We were going to give it away. But then nobody else got behind me. I don't think anybody else had any money to do my project. And then Dave and I were like, wow, we have 50 families. Some of them had 7 kids, some of them had 1 kid, but we couldn't say no. We bought every Walkman. There's only one discount store in our town, Alco. And then 30 miles away was Walmart and Alco, and that was it. So they only stock so many Walkmans, right? That's back when the little CD Walkmans were the thing, and Nintendo DS's. We were buying everything in every store, put it in black bags, you guys. We pulled up in our black Excursion, tinted windows at night. It's a wonder we didn't get killed some of those areas we were in. And our kids, they just got so much joy out of it, you guys, because you would pull up to these houses and you would just imagine. And you're dropping the trash bag and all the lights are going off on the toy piano and Dave's running through the snow and we're barreling out of the neighborhood and we're thinking, this is the life, you guys. And I want you to experience that. I want you to experience it, and I believe that you can. But here's what happens. This is how much money we make. What's the average income here in Denver? Average. 40? 40 or 50. So if you make 40 to 50,000 a year, you say, this is what kind of car I can drive, right? Oh, I don't need a new car. I'll just get one that looks new, that has some miles on it, right? Oh, we don't need to go to Japan or Italy or Greece. We can just go to Vegas because they have that casino that looks like Greece, right? We'll just go there instead. We'll just pretend. You know, you start to justify, oh, I don't need a real big fishing boat. I'll just go with my brother. He has one. Then he can pay the taxes and the insurance and the gas, right? And you start to justify new house. We don't need a new house. Our kids are going to be leaving soon anyway. That'd just be a waste of money. Even I say things like that because we feel bad about spending money, don't we? That's just programs that have been put in our mind that money is the root of all evil. And it's not, you guys, because there's so much good that you can do. And some of you think, quit your job? How would I ever quit my job? There's no way. It's too good of a job. I don't even want to get my easy, she says. But the thing about it is, our mentor taught us that instead of us shrinking all of our dreams down to fit in this and just marking them off, oh, charity, I'll just give 20 bucks a week on the offering plate. Someone else can do the charity. You know, you start to justify these things. Travel, we don't need to travel. We'll just stay with our in-laws. That's always fun anyway. Kids like to, you know, don't you guys love staying with your in-laws? Yeah, nobody does. It doesn't matter how much you love them. You'd like to have your own space, right? So all of these things that you're dreaming of are fun, and everybody in the room is laughing. And what I want to show you how to do, instead of shrinking them all down to fit in here, is to just increase your income so that you can do all of these and even more. You can do whatever you want, when you want, and have the money to pay for it. And you guys, if a beautician and a bull rider from a town of 2,000 people with one stoplight, I mean, we only have 3 restaurants, maybe 4. Because we have an old Dairy Queen that the Mexican restaurant went in. We call it the Mexican Dairy Queen. It's like the nicest place in town to eat. It's where you go on a date. Coming to Denver for us is like New York City. I mean, you have no idea. We got here and I was like, Dave, drive faster. We got to go to the mall. He's like, we don't have time to go to the mall. There'll be traffic. And I'm like, traffic? It's only 15 minutes. Dave's like, no, it's 45 minutes. Because people live here. I'm just not used to that, you guys. So this whole dream thing is fun, but let's talk about how you make money. So there's a slideshow that you can go through, and if you join the business, everything that you need to know is right there online. You can learn all the statistics about the company. It's 17 years old. It's publicly traded. They got about 600 products. They're based in Chula Vista, California. Bill Andreoli is the president of the company. He owns this little restaurant that's famous where all the presidents announce who their vice presidential candidate is going to be. It's called Mary Ann's in New York City, or not New York City, in the Boston area, New Hampshire. And he has made millions of dollars, you guys. He brought his entire company to longevity about 18 months before we did. Everybody is getting in. And you can research it and you'll understand why, but this is why, because this company is exactly where that little company was when we joined in 1996. 300% growth. It's a penny stock. It's going up and up and up, and nobody knows about it. How many of you live right here in Denver? Okay, so right here in Denver, we got maybe 20 people. How many of you are seeing this tonight for the first time? So now only half of them are actually in, right? So what you're seeing tonight, you're definitely in the right place at the right time, because how many people live in Denver? Like, we could probably fill the same stadium where we were front row to Kenny Chesney, right, Kurt?
Yeah.
I mean, we could definitely fill that stadium. And other companies have done it. And the way that we're going to do that is by telling this story of Dr. Wallach and longevity being an opportunity where people can get free. How many of you have friends that want to lose weight? How many of you have friends that complain every day about money or time? They're depressed. I just don't know what's wrong with me. Well, you guys, their body's not deficient in Prozac. Do you know what it is? They don't have any hope. And all they hear about is how bad the economy is. The American dollar is going to crash. You better hoard up all your food, and there's no bullets left because this country is going, you know. How many of you are hearing that every day? And we're waking up every day going, we live in the greatest country in the world because we have free enterprise and we're printing money in our basement. I mean, we just have friends over. We share with them hope. They all get products, and the products change their life. And then every week, today I was like, today, we should probably stop because I think there's going to be a couple $1,000s in the mailbox. True story, Dave. We pull up to the mailbox. How many checks were in there today?
4.
4. How much bigger was it than I thought it was going to be?
Your exact words were, I wonder if they made a mistake.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I was like, we can't leave this much money sitting here. We went and overnighted it to our bank. I mean, you guys, there are so many people getting in, but I don't even understand how we're getting paid. It's just helping other people. And most of you guys in this room are not even in my group. It's just people helping people. Tomorrow night I'm going to be in Austin, and half the people in Austin are not in my group. I have one friend there. And I said to her, you can be one of the first people in Austin, get everybody you know. Because my fear is this, and I'll tell you an announcement that's coming out. On June 1st, you're going to be walking through Borders, Books A Million, Hastings, the grocery store, and on the front cover, how many of you have ever seen Success Magazine? Like people like Martha Stewart are on it, right? This Success from Home magazine, the company has invested about $500,000. It's cover to cover, highlighting all the leaders in the company. Dr. Wallach, the story, you open it up, there's a DVD, and any of your friends buy the magazine, who knows who they're going to sign up under. But I'll tell you this, they're all going to read it, they're all going to hear it, and the only thing I'm thinking right now is how do I get to all these people before it hits the newsstand? Like, I don't even sleep. I wake up, oh, she's going to read it. Tina, you got to get in. I mean, I'm like calling all my friends because I've been in this very situation before. And some of my friends were in the same situation I was. And guess what was the difference in Dave and I and them? Action. We took massive and immediate action. So real quick, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I suck at showing the plan. I can't stick, I have ADHD, so I can't stick to a train of thought. I know the steps that I need to talk about, but it's never going to be the same. That's why we have a video and a PowerPoint, and you guys can all do it and add your stories, but the best story I know is the truth. So is it okay if I just tell you the truth? So here was Dave. Dave joined. He said, Barb, there's circles and legs. I said, I know, Dave, it doesn't work. I said, let me tell you how it works. This was me. I joined a company. I brought 52 people in. Now, I was 18 years old, so I got the guy that owned the implement. I was a waitress at 2 restaurants and taught dance. So I got whoever bought coffee, and I said, you guys need to get in, and they did. And guess how many people they got under them? None. And guess how much money they made? None. And guess what they did? Nothing. And they had the audacity to quit. I don't know how you can quit something that you never started, but this is how it went. And I would go get a few more, and then they would get out. So then I would talk my sister, and she's 3 years younger than me, and I was 18, right? I'm like, get in, you can buy the cat food. So she would get in, and she would buy the cat's food, and so that I could get a check, right? And then she got her boyfriend that was a little bit older, and when they figured out that this really wasn't going to get them rich, then they both quit, and then here I am. And this was just a horrible feeling, you guys. Thanksgiving was like, she got us in that deal, don't even talk to her. She's still doing it, she's crazy. I mean, I hated that feeling. And this to me was a dog chasing its tail because I never got done. It was just like me bringing everyone in on my front line, right? So then my uncle, he joined this other company, and this was my uncle, and he's pretty bright. And it only had 2 legs. But he had one where he had a guy that got in that went and got 1,800 people in, and that company was growing in Korea. So he had a global leg. I mean, there's 1,800 people in there. And then over here, he has my mom and his brother and my grandpa. And guess how many people he got paid on? 8. Because it had to grow the same. So what is my belief about network marketing at that point? It doesn't work. This doesn't work, and that doesn't work, and the guy up here makes all the money. So Dave comes home, and he tells me, Barb, this is not like that. It is not like that at all. And I said, okay, knock yourself out, but I am not helping you. And he was watching a video, and at the end of the video, this guy, he goes, and we'll see you on the beaches of the world. And I just thought I was going to wet my pants. Of course, I was pregnant, so that was a normal thing. But I was laughing so hard that I was mocking him in the kitchen while he had guests watching the video in the living room. And I was doing the dishes, and I was like, we'll see you in the beaches of the world. And Dave was like, you know, it would be helpful if you just quit saying that because I think they're both going to get in. And I was like, oh my God, now he's signing up my friends, right? And so I kept mocking him and mocking him. And 3 months later, we get on a free cruise. And here's Dave. Hey, Barb. Okay, I'm out to here. So I look great on the cruise, right? The cruise was in February. Kelly was born in April. But Dave's like, do you see that over there? That's the beaches. I know. Then after I worked for Dave, then I was like, put me in. So here's Dave. He's all on his own. And he has nothing but a video, you guys. We didn't have internet. We didn't have fax machines. And we did have cell phones, but you had to be rich to use them. I don't know if you guys remember, but like our conversation about him joining started in Kansas City with a 4-hour drive home. And I think our cell phone bill was more than our rent that month. But he was on his own. It was just Dave's deal. So Dave goes out and he has spent $1,000 in 1996. Now you guys, I'm not going to ask anybody in the room tonight to spend $1,000, but what would you do if you spent $1,000, you came home and your wife was mad? What would you do? Anybody in here sleeping with the enemy? Or is Dave just alone? Because here he is. He spent $1,000 and this is the only thing he learned and this is the only thing I've been teaching ever since. This is all you need to know and the meeting could be over. They said, if you get 4 people, you get your money back. So Dave said, I need to get my 4 because she's not happy and she's pregnant and this is just not a good thing. So he got the girl at the salon and his mom and he wanted to get 4 people. They said, if you get 4 and you just help each of them get 4 and you help each of them get 4, it'll start to grow. And I told Dave, I've seen this before. Good luck. How many of you have been that way? How many of you came here skeptical tonight? No. Wow, I don't know why I'm even telling this story. We have a bunch of believers. I'm the only non-believing dream stealer in the room. So Dave gets 3 his first month. And he gets 3. And this was his mom. This was the girl that did nails. She never came to a meeting, never plugged in, never did anything. We put one person under her. She was so negative, this person quit. Some people just don't get it. Okay, one thing I am going to be with you guys is honest. This is not just like going to success attack you. You're going to have happy people, you're going to have not happy people, people that believe, people think you're crazy. So this guy, we owed him a bunch of money. He owned Heartland Building Center. And I remember saying, hey Russ, you're going to get paid because Dave's going to be rich. He got in this deal. And I was like mocking and laughing. And Russ said, send Dave over. My wife will chew him up, spit him out. We've been in Amway for years. Just send him on over. So I went home and I said to Dave, hey, Russ wants you to come over. And Dave's sponsor, Bert, was coming to town. Now, if you guys ever meet Bert, Bert had way too many bull riding accidents, a lot of concussions. I finished every sentence he ever started, and he doesn't talk near as much as Dave at the time, which was none. And so Bert and Dave's conversations were like, I mean, you could ride from Kansas City to Russell with them, and I would be the only one that talked for 4 hours, and they would just, you know, because they're quiet. So I send these 2 guys over. True story. I wish Dave wasn't in the room. I'm not trying to hurt his feelings, but when they left, I prayed. Because I thought this is going to be a bloody mess when they get over there with his wife, right? So they take the video, and they go over there, and they're just going to show the video. And they came home. This guy signs up for $1,000. His name's Russ. He calls 4 people. Kurt can tell you this is a true story. Called Tribune, Kansas. I think 300 people live there, maybe. 4 that lived there signed up over the phone, gave their credit cards. Not internet, you guys, not fax, no website, word of mouth. Like, this thing's exploding, you should get in. And Dave comes back, he doesn't have 1 app, he has 5 apps. I'm like, holy Jesus, that was the power of prayer? Or they felt really sorry for him, one of the 2. Because Dave said, they played the video and they were like this. this is you, and I can just see them, and you're right here, and there's legs and circles, and you order 100, and I know that's all they did. But I'm sure the guy sitting there was like, man, if this dude can do it, I'm in, right? So he gets in, and we have 12 people in our group. Now, you guys, how many did Dave get? 3. How many did it turn into? 12. That's a pretty good deal, right? So now he's making about $8 to $10 a person, and it's 120 bucks, so at least the products are paid for, right? Because everybody was supposed to order products. So the next month, we're at the Bob Dole announcement, Amos Morris Gymnasium in Russell, Kansas. I'm hot, I'm sweating, I'm pregnant, I have 2 babies already. Here he comes. I gotta check, I gotta check. It reminded me of that Eddie Murphy thing that was big when I was growing up. It was just like so annoying. That it was like about his check, like Eddie Murphy about the ice cream, you know? And I was like, you sit here and I will go cash the check. So Dave stays there. He's so embarrassed. He's like, God, we gotta get her off the stage. So I go cash the check. And it cashes, and I have 9 crispy $100 bills. So I drive down the street to the bank that we're negative balance in, and I deposit them. And I'm so excited because they actually took it. It was like real money. It worked. $900 is 90 haircuts in 1996, you guys. That's a lot of work. Guess what our overhead was for the month? $100 order. I'm like, cha-ching. The man's a genius. We are going to be rich, right? So I park outside and I go in after I drive through and make the deposit, and I actually had a positive balance. I could withdraw some money. So I go back to the Bob Dole announcement, and I'm to Dave like, okay, it cashed. It cashed. I want to kiss the ground and walk on. I'm in. I'm under you now. I want to be under you. So the next month, we put in 4 people, and I go to my old sponsor, Jeff, and he joins, and then we wanted to help these people get some people, right? Because remember the scenarios I showed you? If you put everybody right under you and it's all about you, and you don't help anybody else, if people don't make money, what do?
Quit.
They quit. And if they make money, what do? And they tell everybody. So that's what started to happen. Jeff got in, and then there was 3 more. And Dave and I were trying to hit a pin level where you help everybody get some people. So the next thing you know, 1 goes under Chris, a couple go under Dave's mom, 1 goes under Jeff, 4 turns into 59. Now I'm absolutely freaking out. We had started refinishing the woodwork in an old house that we were leasing with the option to purchase. It was 100-year-old. It looked like the governor's mansion, but it was old. Dave had refinished all the woodwork. Pink walls, old Victorian wallpaper. Stain is running down the walls. You know how you refinish stuff and it just runs? And in the midst of this, I'm pregnant, about to deliver a baby, right? And guess what? Our house is like a nonstop corridor of people. They're coming, they're getting cases of videos, they want cases of products, they want copies of application, they're all burning up our fax machine. 59 turns into 259 within a month. And that month, we only brought in 5, and it grew by 200 people. Do you guys get this? So I always kept hearing this. J. Paul Getty says, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. But that's not how I was raised. I was raised, you've got to work hard, you've got to be a workaholic. If you're watching TV, you're lazy. Like, I've never sat and watched TV, still can't, because it's my belief if I sit and watch TV, I'm a loser. That's just the way that Dave's like, would you just sit down? I tried last night. I sat down to watch TV. My kids are like, you're going to love this. It's Twilight. Oh my God, you're going to cry, Mom. It's the best one. And it's like 10:30 at night, right? This is me. I sit down, true story. At the end of the movie, I wake up, the credits are going up. They're like, Dad, are you crying? Dad? And Dave's like, that's the best show ever. And I'm like, what did I miss? I'm wiping the drool, off my face. And I sit up and everybody's sobbing and it's the best Twilight ever. And my little 7-year-old niece goes walking up the stairs and goes, why does Aunt Barbie always sleep with her mouth wide open as she goes up the stairs? Like, yeah, I'm not very good at watching TV, you guys, because I was raised that you've got to be out there making money. It's just what you do when you're raised around a bunch of workaholics. And you never dream that you could bring in 12 that could turn into 259 people going crazy. That just doesn't happen. And my check within the 3rd month, this month it was $8.99, it cashed. This month it was $2,100, the check cashed. Now I'm in. Now I'm like, Dave, I'm getting in under you. So I go to my mom, and you guys have got to understand this. My mom, single mom, my dad disappeared in May of 1989. I was 18 years old. We went to the prom crowning. I was a candidate for queen, believe it or not. I thought I was the ugliest girl in school. I had the lowest self-esteem. I had red hair, freckles, I mean, I didn't believe in myself enough to have beaten myself out of a wet paper bag, because this is pre-David Pitcock. My childhood was horrible. It was really horrible. I did things at the age of 12 that you probably haven't done at the age of 25. And I did it because I didn't have parents at home. They were working so hard trying to raise us that I was just a kid raising a bunch of kids. But you know what? There's a lot of parents today, you guys, they have no choice. Because if they don't do that, they're going to lose their house, their car, everything. Thank God I never got into major trouble. But I'll tell you this, my mom was pretty harsh. When you're a single mom with 4 kids sleeping in a king-size bed of a single wide trailer that used to be one of your 100 rental properties before your husband leaves, you don't trust anybody. And I went to my mom with this $2,100 check, and you guys are going, what does this have to do with the business? This has everything to do with the business, because you all know people like this. Yeah. And I said to my mom, Mom, you need to get in. I went to my mom up here. She said, you must be an idiot. What in the hell are you thinking? That was her exact words, and pardon me for cussing, but that's what she said. She said, you can't even pay your light bill, Barb. You can't even buy formula and diapers for your kids. Your husband must be a moron. And I was like, yeah, that's what I thought too, but I thought if you'd get in, he could make his money back. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. God, I hope my mom's not right, Dave. This has to work. And so I went to my mom about here, and she said, I don't have the money, but if you'll put me in, I'll use the products. My mom worked at King of the Road Trailer Factory. She cleaned a different house every day for wealthy people. They gave her hand-me-downs. For my little brother, he still says his feet are deformed because he wore a size 13 shoe. And do you guys know how much tennis shoes are in a size 13? They're a lot. It's still the running joke, because my mom went from having successful businesses to nothing and lost everything. And the day that I went to her with this check, she said, you put me in, and don't tell anybody that I'm in. Because we all have status, don't we? Well, what will people think if I got in that deal? And I have to say this right. My mom, one time I accidentally said my mom was so poor she slept with old people for money. But what she really did, she got hired. You guys are all going, oh my God. No, she got hired by this government agency that you could go and take care of people. I can't remember the name of it because I was pretty young. But she would go there when the kids were sleeping, and they would take care of themselves because she could make $10 an hour through the night, and she was too proud to go get any help. So if you guys are getting the picture, this is why I'm here tonight. This is why I've been doing this for 20 years, because I believe that this will work for you. My mom got in with my money. My mom got in about right here. She said, I'm going to use the cleaning stuff. That'll be my order, and I'll sell it to the people that I clean for. But don't tell anyone I'm in, and don't ever ask me to come to one of those meetings. And I said, okay. So this is Mom, and Mom got in, and I'm thinking, this has to work for Mom, right? And there's an option in this company where you can actually place people. You can actually place people to help people, and not everybody does it. You build your business the way you want. I only want to build it one time, and I want it to be strong, and I want it to never go away. So my goal is whoever I sponsor, I want to make sure that they get some people. So I had one person that Mom knew. Her name was Rita. We put Rita under Mom. Now Rita was a lot like Mom. She had a hard time even paying me for a $10 haircut. But little hinges open big doors, and I'm always looking for the single mom that's hungry, that has a burning desire to get ahead, more so than the big guy that has all the titles. Because you guys, I didn't have any titles, and look what I did. But I've also seen millionaires that were already wealthy that do have titles get in this business because they're smart. Everybody gets in, and everybody has the same opportunity. Rita went to a guy that was a prison guard at Ellsworth Penitentiary, and his wife was a video clerk. And they farmed his dad's farmland. And he came to a meeting and he said, my name's Craig Mugg, you're gonna get to know me a lot. My wife and I have been in Amway in the past. I like what I saw tonight. I love how everybody just gets 4. I'm gonna bring my 4 to the next meeting. And he did. In fact, he brought 8. So he got his money back, and they got some people, and Mom's check was $840.
Awesome.
She was freaking out. She had this old truck that was so rusted out. Dave and I would lay under her trailer house with a blow dryer trying to thaw out the pipes for the kids to get ready for school. And $840 a month was more than she made working all month at King of the Road. 40 hours a week. She couldn't be a room mom. She couldn't even stay home if they had a fever because her foreman would fire her. This is real life, you guys. So mom gets 840, and the coolest thing is she pulls up in a rusted out truck. She used to drive a Mark 8, now she's driving this rusted out, it was like on Grumpy Old Men, that kind of a truck. We call it the root beer truck because it was more brown and orange rust than green. And she pulled up on the wrong side of the road, and she came running up that rental house that we had, and she just had her check. And my mom is not my mom has very seldom ever said I love you or cried or anything, because she's just tough. But she had tears in her eyes, and she was telling Dave how amazing he was, and she had an $840 check. And she was going to quit one job so she could be there for my brothers because they were in sports. And you guys, the next week, she got a letter to get her free car before we did. Because this guy grew faster than our top 3 levels. And I want to tell you, you can get a free car in these top 3 levels. Same thing as 1996. It's like deja vu. Ours all had to be on one level. Yours can be anybody. All added up. When it hits 5,400 in volume, you get a free car. Will Staub, Hayes, Kansas, 18-year-old kid. Comes to a meeting a month ago. Doesn't even have any family around there. He's going through a rough time in his life. He sees a Facebook post. He comes, he puts in 12 people, has 5,400 in volume, gets his free car, and makes several $1,000s, and he's a college student. Wow. Yes, so that's just as good as mom's story, isn't it? Changed his life. So how many of you want a free car? It is so easy that you could do it this month. And the cool thing about this is, mom, then she got pretty excited. Because if you want to get paid on all these people, you need to go get 4 people right away. If you don't get 4 people, you don't get paid on all the people. So how many of you think with our help and the system and all the leaders in this area and everything that's online that you could get 4 people? Yes. So you join, and it's not $1,000. It's $499. You get a mega pack, and a mega pack is a mega bunch of all the products. And you know what? You will never want to run out of these products, but you're going to get enough for you, enough to share with other people. You get this Healthy Start Pack, which is the products that Dr. Wallach talks about. The EFAs everybody should have. This OsteoFX is what makes my back not hurt. Take it right before you go to bed. You will sleep like someone knocked you out. You won't have to go drink NyQuil or take a sleeping pill or something for anxiety. You'll just be dead. And when you wake up in the morning, you're so rested that you'll wake up like an hour earlier and be like, I need to sleep later. I need to sleep later. But you're done because you slept so good. And it's an amazing product. And my favorite, I mean, I'm putting this, we have water bottles just lined up. My kids don't leave the house without this. There's a Clemson report, and it's up in the room. Anybody in the room have a Clemson report on them? So the Clemson report that just came out from Clemson University showed that this product and one other killed 95% of cancer cells in the colon, cancer cells in the stomach, only 30% of breast cancer. But how many of you guys would love to have something that only killed 30% of breast cancer cells? Here he has it online. You can Google it. It's the Clemson report. It's not our company. It's Clemson University that did it. They studied our products, you guys. And this is what Dr. Wallach put the 90 essential nutrients in, so it tastes like Tang. Our most recent favorite recipe, you mix it with Mango Splash V8. Oh my gosh, you won't even know you're taking vitamins. So this is the report. You can get copies of it, or you can Google it tonight. CLEMSON, Clemson Report About Longevity. All I do, I take this to everybody that I know that I love. My husband's looking at the clock because I'm way long-winded tonight. We're almost done. But no, he's just looking saying how fast I'm talking. Wow, we're almost done, like 5 more minutes. So in here, he's like, I'm not even looking at my clock. I'm just checking his pulse. So in here it says, these are the actual numbers. I'm going to read them so I don't mess up. When they put Beyond Tangy Tangerine in Ultimate Classic with healthy human colon cells, no death of any healthy colon cells. No significant difference at all. But when they put it with cancerous colon cells, it was 95% reduction in cancerous colon cells, 65% of liver and stomach cells, and 30% of breast cancer cells. How many of you have ever lost somebody to cancer? Like if I could have even had a 5% rate, if I could have just had my grandma for 1 more year, let alone kill the cancer, how much would that have meant to me? And so I'm not going to wait until somebody gets it. I literally ordered 100 of these, and in your mega pack you get all these single packets, and I took double stick tape and I stuck them right here, and I ran out like in a week. I love you, and you're going to take this. I love you, and you're going to drink this. And if you won't buy it, I'm going to give it to you, but I want you to live a longer, healthier life. Everyone in my family's on it. My daughter doesn't leave the house in the morning without drinking it because they know how good they feel when they take it. So you guys, You get 2 of those in your mega pack. Look at me, I've just destroyed this place. And on top of that, you get some pain cream, you get the chocolates. How many of you like chocolate? Coffee, it's the second most consumed beverage. That comes in your kit. So I don't think of this as extra money. In fact, I teach my friends, switch where you shop. You're buying laundry soap, you're washing your hair, I hope you're taking a shower, you put on facial cream, right? All of us could stand to take a supplement, but even if you didn't, you could spend $100 a month if you didn't care about your health. And the sad thing is most people are more concerned about making money than they are about their health anyway, until they're sick. And then they're desperate, and then it's too late, and then you're trying to fix a problem instead of just give your body what it needs so you never get the problem. So all that comes in your kit, and the cool thing is it's refundable. So that takes away the risk. And you could get your 4 people and get your money back before your credit card statement even comes. So everyone we bring in comes in at this level. And I'll tell you guys, there's a lot of other ways that you can join. In fact, I think legally I have to say, you could even get in for a $10 bill. And I actually have a friend that got in for a $10 bill because that's the only way that she could get in. And guess who is under her? Will Staub, fastest growing leg in our downline. It's the most amazing success story. I love telling it. It's just, you guys, can you get the picture here? It's not about you asking your friends to buy something. We're going to change their life. I don't care how you join, just join. I don't care if you get in for $10 or $4.99, but if you get in for $4.99, this is the difference. No matter how you join, you make $100 for everybody you sponsor. And once you join, all you're going to do is tell your story just like I am. All of you are going to go get 4 and you're going to say, this is what I did and I got my money back. Could you do that? And even if you just get 3, your products are free. If every month you just get 3, the Healthy Body Challenge pays for your products. Is that a cool deal? Yeah. If not, you're going to buy about $150 a month in products that you choose. So how many of you think you could get free and you wouldn't have that? You could. It's just a matter of how much or how little you want to do. So every time you sponsor someone, you get $100. You could sponsor 20, and you could either put them all on your front line, or you could help Mom or Chris or whatever. But the cool thing is, if you ever, of all the people that you sponsor, if you sponsored 10, you'd make 1,000. If you sponsored 20, you'd make 2,000. But if any of them, say you sponsored 12 your first month, and you had 5,400 in volume, you'd get the car. That's all it takes. 12 and 5,400 in volume, you get the car. Okay, how much is the kit? $4.99. How many people does it take to get 5,400?
12.
Yeah, so why don't you just go get 12, get the free car, and go SEMD the first month? Because when you do that, all these bonuses are great, and they're going to pay you percentages. 8 levels, you can even get infinity. If you're really good, like Victoria and Kurt and Scott, you're going to get paid regardless how long, how deep it goes. But all of us could get 4, right? Even if we never got 12, we could get 4 and get paid 8 levels deep. This is going to freak you out. And I usually don't show this to everybody, but this seems like a big dreaming city, because you guys all said Australia when we say Lake Wilson. So you want to see the big money, or you think we should just stop here?
Big money.
Okay, this is it. This is it. I had a great company and a great opportunity. In 90 days, my checks were $4,000 a month, because you get paid residual income on all these people, no matter how big it ever gets, right? Starts out at 8%, goes down, 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 down. How many of you would like to get 8%, 5%, whatever, of everything your friends are spending at GNC, beauty stores, whatever? That would be a good deal, wouldn't it? And you get 100 for everybody that you bring in. That's a good deal, right? Because they get products for their money. But this company has people that have made $15 million. They have 100 people in the Millionaire Club. You can meet some of them tonight at the back of this room, yet nobody knows about it. Is that strange? And the reason why, Dr. Wallach says this at everything he speaks. Every time he speaks, we want to change the world with this army that we're building in these products. And I want to pay you a fortune for doing it. So those of you that want to go crazy, how many of you want to go crazy? Yeah, once you do, they add $100 every time someone gets in your group to anybody new that you bring in once you hit this level. So let's count this up. How many did I sponsor? 3 plus 4 plus 5 is how many?
12.
12. So I would have had a free car, and I would have been what they call SEMD. And that's the only thing I want you guys to think about when you go home tonight, is that you're going to hit SEMD. Because then, every time someone gets somebody that gets somebody that gets somebody, from that point on, you get an extra $100 bill. Simple math, it's 1996. We sponsored 4, and then it went from 59 to what? 259. I can add that. How many new people joined? 200. How many did I go get? 5. So 195 new people got in, right?
Yep.
So if 200 people joined, and I was even at this beginning level of the coding bonus, when someone joins at $4.99, they pay $100 to the enroller, and they pay $190 in coding. And coding goes to leaders. And leaders are people that even if you don't get 4, you got 3 that each got 3. I mean, you could lose and still win here, right? They're going to add an extra $100 to your check for every new person. So just for an example, because I'm better at telling my story than drawing out the comp plan, if I would have had this same opportunity in 1996, I don't know where I would be. Because my 3rd month, my check would have been 200 new people times $100, just like some of these 18 and 19-year-old kids I have in my group. This is what they're getting, you guys. Their groups are exploding. They've hit this level, and they're getting an extra $100 bill for helping people. They're so young, I don't even know what they're going to do with the money. You ask them what their dreams are, they're like, party, lake. Like, no, now I got to help them. But they're 18 and 19 years old, so how old are all we? Could we do this?
Definitely.
Yes. So when I think about this, you guys, this is why these senior executive marketing directors in the back of the room can't sleep at night. This is why I'm going to Austin tomorrow for a friend that said, I have dreams and goals and I need to do something. This is why that Dave is going to Cheyenne and Laramie and Casper and Jackson Hole and everywhere next week, because we are going to take longevity to the $1 billion mark. And I know that we can do it. We need a whole bunch of people that just want to join for 10 and use products, because you save 30% and you get great products and we're going to change their life and it gives you this volume. So don't let anybody say no, just get them in and get them on the products. But we need a few that want to do this, right? And we at least need 4. So who believes with our help and the leadership you have here in Denver that you could all bring 4 if we had the same meeting next week?
Yes.
Yes. And of them, how many of you think that those 4 could go and get 4?
Yep.
And then you'd have 16 on your second level. And if we just help those 4 just get 4, you'd have this, and everybody in this room would be making several $1,000s a month and driving a free car. And we won't stop until we get there. But not everybody's going to want to do it. The reality is this lady quit. And mom didn't join for 3 months. And all the people in our town thought that we were crazy. And you have to understand that this is about your future, and you should start listening to someone making $40,000 a month instead of your friends and relatives making $40,000 a year if you want to change your situation. And if not, in order for things to get better, you have to get better. We have a training system. This is online, you guys. People all over the United States tonight are watching this, and they're making money from their home because they text or Facebooked a friend and said, hey, I'm busy. I'm working 3 jobs, but check this out. And tonight, they'll make $100 while someone else is doing the work, and they don't even know what happened. That excites me. And I couldn't be more excited than Denver, because right here, you guys, it's a 5-hour drive for us. It's like going to Kansas City for us. There's nobody here. This metropolis could have 10,000 people within a year that are all in the organization, and it will, because we won't stop until we get there. The question is, how many of them are going to be under you? And I don't know how much of this pie you guys want, but we know longevity will hit the $1 billion mark. If I didn't know that, I wouldn't be in it. I was very comfortable where I was. I believe this is going to be the biggest thing that we've ever done. And if you want to be a part of this team, I would love to invite you to be a part of it. So we have a website where you can get tons of free training. I know there are a lot of different organizations in this room tonight. Get with your upline, see what they promote, but I'll tell you this. We have websites, we have calls just for moms, we have YouTube videos, we have Ustream videos. The company has a system. It's very simple. You get your kit and you're going to know every single thing that you need to do, and the only way that you can fail is just to flat out miss the opportunity. And so, worst case scenario, you hate the whole thing, you don't like your sponsor, you say, that lady talked too long, she's obnoxious, she gets on my nerves, I want my money back, and you call customer service and they give you a refund 100% in the first 30 days. The best case scenario, you go out there and do what Will Staub did. You go out there and do what the Chaddocks here in town did just recently. Do what Bob and Autumn did. Do what Kurt and Scott and Victoria and Mary Ann just did it and got a free car. I mean, there are so many people in this room, I don't even know all your names, so I don't want to mess this up. I know like 5 of you. But everybody in this room can do what we did, if you will. And realistically, you guys, let's say that this whole thing was a bomb and you only got 4 people and got your money back. And those 4 people were just sitting there ordering the products. And you're like, well, I got my money back, but my people are all lazy and they won't do anything, and I don't know if this is going to work, and you're going to have people like that. And let's say that those people just got 1, and the next month, everybody just got 1, and it took a year, and you had 30 people in your group. 30 people. And you're referring 3 that just get on the products, and let's say you didn't, and your products cost you $150 a month. And you were making $300 to $500 after a year. Kurt Viennekamp said this the other night. Would you rather have a penny that doubled every day or $1 million? A penny that doubled every day because it's worth more. And if it took a year to get $500 residual income coming in, that's more than a lot of people are getting from Social Security. That's more than a lot of people get from a real estate property. Trust me, I thought Flip That House would work in Russell. It doesn't. We still have some of them. And the $500 that I would get from rent cost me $1,000 in property taxes and insurance and someone to clean up the mess from the renter. You guys, $500 residual income would be like how much in the bank? A lot. A lot. And here, the upside potential is so huge that even if you never tapped into all of this, $500 a month could change a lot of people's lives. In fact, I think it probably could have kept us out of bankruptcy in 1996. Because we gave up just because we were scared and we had no idea that there was something out here that could be like this. So I'm going to stick around after the meeting. Dave and I have a book that I'll be glad to sign the books for you. I would love to answer any questions that you might have. I want to bring up the senior executive marketing directors in this room, and I feel like I've missed half the meeting because I am just so excited that I am all over the place, and I know that people are like, how does she do that? Well, when you leave, get the comp plan, go research the products, get whatever questions you need answered. But I'm telling you this, if this doesn't excite you, being in this room with only this many people in Denver, we should talk. Because there's only 3 reasons people don't join. Number 1, they don't have a dream. They just quit dreaming because their current circumstances seem bigger than anything that could ever happen for them. They're praying, but they have no faith because faith without action is a contradiction. That was me, you guys. I was just too scared. I never would have joined. If it wasn't for Dave, we still wouldn't be in. People don't join because number 1, they don't have a dream. Number 2, the person that explained it has them so confused they don't understand how it works. And that might be the situation, but we have some smart people here in the room that can straighten it out. And the last reason, the main reason people don't join, they don't think they can do it. So I believe the reason why we have this fast-growing organization that's breaking records is we make sure that we support the people that come on our team. And if you join tonight, I don't care whose downline you're in, I know the leaders in this room, guess what their number 1 goal is going to be if you join tonight for $4.99?
Get your money back.
Get your money back. And they're not going to stop until they help you get 4, because if they don't help you get 4, they can't get to SEMD. They need to help you get your 3 or 4 people sponsored so that they can tap into that bonus as well. So you guys are going to meet some of my mentors here in a minute, some of my best friends in the business. Kurt Viennekamp built my dream in 1996. I saw this guy on a video with a mullet and a yellow polo, and he said, in the last 3 months we've made about $47,000, and he says it was only 43, but I swear it was 47, and that night I was like, what if that video Dave's watching is right? And he has been a mentor of mine ever since. You guys have him right here. And he introduced us to Scott Fardulis before we merged our companies, and the friendship that we have made, not just with Kurt and Teresa, but with Scott and his wife Juliet, it's amazing. And you guys have no idea how fortunate you are here. I know that Victoria and Iggy are right here in Colorado Springs area. Tom Chenault, largest radio show of home-based business right in Denver, and there's nobody in. I mean, you guys, this is a sleeping giant, and I want us to fill stadiums. I believe the convention should be in Kansas or Denver because we are setting this thing on fire. So all of the senior executive marketing directors, and Dave, if you guys would come up and share, make sure that you can see yourself here on the Ustream because people are watching. And all of you that are watching, I just want you to meet some of the biggest leaders in this company who are here in Denver, Colorado tonight.
Yay!